Greetings and salutations. Random, not so random thought in this moment. I guess first of all, if the headlines are correct, then rest in peace to Charlie Kirk. I can't say there is anything that I agreed with him on. There are no points of view that we shared, but his death is not something that I would have wished for. And I have noticed in a lot of the responses to it, responses from the right, there is a narrative that's being created that this was, an act of violence from the left, right? And I think a lot of times when we have these acts of violence that take place on the left or on the right, the other side is so quick to point blame to the other side, right? An individual, for whatever reason, whatever, whatever it is that pushed them to take that action, it's not left or right, I do believe, when these things take place, often it is as a result of the deep conditioning that we as a collective, as a society, have been under, right? We have been pushed to perpetuate these divisive themes and rhetoric, right? We are being manipulated to see the other side as the bad guy, as the villain, right? We are not each other's enemies, right? I don't consider myself right or left. I like to see myself as outside of that. But also recognizing that even though I don't identify with any of the politics, I identify as a human being, as a part of the collective, and all beings are a part of the collective, whether you are on the left or on the right, right? And if we are going to continuously allow these moments to cause us to point fingers to the other side instead of recognizing that we are all playing a part in it, right? We are all culpable. We are all a part of the problem, as long as we are pointing fingers outside, recognizing that we are the problem, right? We are the ones that are creating this, right? We are allowing ourselves to be controlled and manipulated by the people in power so that we are just continuing these divisive arguments, conversations. We're just so narrow-minded, I think. We're not able to take our heads out of our fucking asses and realize that we're the ones that are doing this. I haven't looked too into it. I can be somewhat of a conspiracy theorist when it comes to these things, so I don't know how valid or whatever. There a lot of times there's agendas behind these things, and sometimes it could be made to look like it was something that was done by a specific side, when really it's just done to continue to perpetuate this idea that there are sides that we should be fighting, right? That we should be pointing fingers instead of coming together and recognizing that we are not each other's enemies and that we are just being played like freaking pieces on a board, right? You know, and it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that, you know, sometimes it seems like our lives are so insignificant to the people in power, right? That any piece that they want to take off the board for whatever reason, for whatever agenda, for whatever narrative it is that they want to push, you know, they can just do that. They can just wipe that, you know, piece off the board, you know, because that's all we are. And until we realize that, until we recognize that they are playing all of us, the cycle is just going to continue. It's not going to end, you know? So, yeah, those are my thoughts in this moment. I think it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that a life was lost, you know? It's unfortunate that lives are continuously being lost every single day in Gaza, in Sudan, in the Congo, around the world, right? And I'm not saying that Charlie Kirk's life was insignificant or that it's not meaningful in any way, but let's not get too bogged down in this distraction. Yeah, I understand that that can sound cold, you know, and it has nothing to do with his politics or me not agreeing with his politics. Honestly, it could have been anybody, and I think I would have felt the same way. But that's just me in this moment. A bit jaded, a bit frustrated, a bit overwhelmed with the state of this world, this country, you know, and how quickly, like immediately it happened. It was framed as a political thing, you know, left versus right, you know, this is a war, you know, trying to rile people up, right? We can't allow that to happen, right? Grieve, you know, pray for his soul, for his family. But it's not a moment to wage war, right? It's a moment for us to really look at the state of this country, the state of the mental health of the people. It's a moment for us to really reflect and reevaluate the direction that we're moving in. But yeah, those are just my 2 cents in this moment. Yeah, sending much love.